Thanks for joining us again for our second AT week here. Today, we have Jay and Tracy Beavers from Tolt Technologies. They are business owners, entrepreneurs, software engineers, mothers of 7, fathers and mothers of 7. And having raised children with medical challenges, they understand the need to make things better one family at a time. So Tolt Technologies is an extension of this perspective. They are dedicated providing exceptional independent mobility products, service, and support for people living with disabilities and their families. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to you guys.
Nice to be here and be able to present. I'm going to go ahead and play a presentation, and afterwards we'll go ahead and have some question and answers on the technology.
Welcome to the Tolt Technologies presentation on Ability Drive. Driving a power wheelchair with your eyes. Here is a fella driving his power chair in a local grocery store. You can see that the screen is showing what is in front of him and has buttons overlaying it. As he looks at the buttons, it activates and drives the chair forward. What do you need to make Ability Drive work? You always need the Ability Drive interface. This is both a piece of hardware that attaches to the power chair's alternative drive port and the Ability Drive app. Let's take a look at the Ability Drive app. Here we are on our A13J using Toby's computer control to start Ability Drive. As you look at a button, it darkens to show activation. To stop the chair, you can look at the stop button, close your eyes, or look off the screen. In the settings menu, you can choose from 3 different button layouts. Here is the compact button layout. This allows people to see more of their environment. Here is the center drive layout. It allows for driving looking at the center of the screen. Contrast can be set from high to medium to low. High is good for new users or outdoor environments. Low contrast allows people to see more of what's in front of them. Button size can be set from small to large. Small buttons show more of the screen but require more precise eye gaze control. The drive can be set to semi-latched, which allows for smoother driving for advanced users. A gaze talk can be enabled to show where someone is looking and is good for training and evaluation, but can be distracting while driving. And here we are, exiting back to Toby's computer control. What eye gaze devices are compatible with Ability Drive? The Toby iSeries and PCI 5, the PRC Accent 1400 with Look2 camera, and the SmartBox GridPad with the iRespond or iTech camera, the Talk2Me Zuvo 12 with iRespond or iTech camera, and the Tolt Technologies A13J. What else does Tolt Technologies have to work with Ability Drive? You will always need the ADT and an eye gaze device mounted to the power chair. Our A13J is specially designed to mount to the chair and is a great option for folks who don't have a supported AAC or would like a secondary device. The APR allows the A13J to be charged off the wheelchair's batteries. We also have a mounting system to mount the A13J to the power chair. Let's take a look at how all of these parts work together. What exactly is an A13J? Well, an A13J is an eye gaze tablet that comes pre-configured with Ability Drive on it. It has an outdoor capable eye tracker and is a nice computer. It's a Surface Pro 7 with an Intel Core i5 and 8 GB of RAM that has been specially optimized to be on a power chair for driving. It also has Tobii's computer control. Here is a look at Tobii's computer control on the A13J. You saw this a little bit in the earlier video. Computer control allows the client to access the computer to do things like browse the internet, use Facebook, play Spotify, and access environmental controls that are available on their computer. What chairs are compatible with Ability Drive? The Permobile with an Omni 2, the Quantum with a QLogic 3 with an enhanced display, and a Sunrise with an Omni 2.
Louis knows to keep his head down so you can still use your eye gaze, huh? Heave-ho. Yeah.
Look at this cool feather.
That's awesome.
Mommy, look it. Mom, look it.
Thank you for attending our virtual presentation. Any questions?
Okay, I have a question just kind of while we're waiting or just trying to think of that. What kind of wheelchairs can this work with?
Okay, so it'll work on a Quantum chair. It will work on a Permobile chair with Arnet and Sunrise chairs with Arnet on it.
How do you normally go about getting one of the devices? So what's the process of of getting it?
So essentially, we're a manufacturer and we sell through distributors or DMEs, durable medical equipment providers. So we have 30 different DMEs around the country. Most notable are New Motion and National Seating and Mobility. So you would essentially contact the person who provided your wheelchair and ask to do an evaluation. And all of these companies have an evaluation kit, which contains the Ability Drive hardware, as well as the computer and a mounting system that they can put on the chair temporarily to go ahead and try it out to see if it works for people. And so if it works, then they would ask for a quote and we would send them a quote, and then they submit it to insurance and go from there. And then the DME actually installs it on the chair once it's purchased.
So if you already have an eye gaze device that you're using, can that be, so can you get it later on, or do you have to get it when you get your eye gaze device?
Nope. You can install Ability Drive if you have. We have quite a few people who are already using like Tobii's, and then they get Ability Drive, and the software portion of it will install just fine on it. All of those supported AAC devices, like the Talk to Me Zuvo 12 and the Tobii I12 or I15 or I13 or I16. So yeah, you can get just the Ability Drive part, which is the hardware and the software that comes together with all the cables needed to connect it, and put it on an existing AAC device.
Yeah, one of the things that you know is a bit of a rough spot for assistive technology for ALS is that the speech side, right, the people who do the speech language pathology, and the wheelchair or the occupational therapy side tend to be different clinicians due to how the just the industry works and the medical certifications work. And so we have this product, which is kind of this weird, you know, in between, which actually connects the wheelchair side and the speech or the eye gaze side together. And so, you know, to clarify with your question, our product is considered to be a wheelchair product. And so you get it through your wheelchair medical equipment provider. That's the person who provided your power chair. And then we help bridge that gap to install the software on your speech device if you already have one. So you might get a wheelchair from New Motion, for example, and a speech device from Tobii Dynavox, for example. We'll actually help you get the software installed and the wires connected so that the wheelchair connects to the Tobii Dynavox system.
And we have a video on our website of how that actually works and all the connections and stuff that need to go on. It's pretty easy.
We also provide a support both directly to the people who need the technology as well as their clinicians. So if their clinicians say, let's say they have a speech language pathologist that isn't familiar with this because they haven't worked with, you know, wheelchair technology before, we help the speech language pathologist work through that, as well as the person directly. And we have a support line where either the clinicians or the people can, the clients can talk to us, and we'll make sure everything gets set up and works correctly.
And feel free, if anyone has any questions, you can post them in the Q&A here, or on the Facebook video. If you're watching on Facebook, you can just chat in the comments. I have another question, but so what kind of mount do you get with the device? Is there a choice on which kind of mount you get, or do you guys always work with kind of the same company, or?
So we work with Blue Sky and Resell Mountain Mover. That is the mounting system we're using right now. That A13J has a VESA 75 and VESA 100 hole pattern, so it will work with a Ray Adapt or a Daisy mount as well. So you don't necessarily need to get the mount through us.
But as you may be aware, there's a lot of different choices, and it's kind of complicated with all the different combinations of what you can do. So in order for us to make it most simple to get it deployed and supported, we've kind of standardized on the Mountain Mover mount, which we think is a really great choice for people with ALS, because it has a locking arm that's pretty easy to move in and out of position, and it's got a really nice mechanism to kind of get out of the way.
Right.
Most of the mounts have this as well, so there's lots of good choices out there. The Daisy system and the Ray Adapter, the Click It, it's sold as the Click It system from Tobii. Those are both really good mounting choices as well.
So if the device is already mounted to the chair with Tobii system, that's fantastic.
So in the videos too, you were in stores and outside and things like that. Is there certain cameras or systems you recommend that work better outdoors, or do you find that the cameras are equal, or what do you think?
So definitely the Tobii 1316 and the A13J have an excellent camera that we have found works outdoors fairly well, but granted, we're here in Seattle. So in my testing of it, it worked quite well unless the sunlight was coming directly over my shoulders. And then the eye gaze bar kind of washed out and the chair wouldn't go because it wasn't picking up my eyes. I solved that by putting a sunbrella on the back of the chair, and then it worked fantastic. We have had some reports that in direct sunlight, like in Texas and stuff, it doesn't work quite as well, but it certainly works a whole lot better than the previous generation of eye trackers. And I'm going to turn it over to Jay to talk about the other eye trackers.
Yeah, you've done some testing with the iRespond eye tracker as well, and that's worked pretty well. The iRespond Duo, we haven't tested the Hiru in sunlight yet, which is their new generation eye tracker. The other eye trackers, we haven't done enough testing outside to really have an opinion on it. we've tested the Toby pretty extensively because they announced sunlight support, this last fall. And so we spent some time to, kind of validate that. And we definitely had a pretty good experience with it. We have enough users our clients using the systems that, the results are not always perfect for people. So I wouldn't say it's a solved problem, but it's definitely much better this year than it was in previous years.
Yeah, significantly better, right? Especially if you have a sunbrella and the other trick is to use a baseball cap like Garrett was using.
Mm-hmm.
Are there plans to extend kind of into some of the other eye gaze companies, like iTech Digital or to iGaze Incorporated?
We're working with the iTech digital cameras today. So if you have a smart box with the iTech camera, or if you have a Talk to Me with the iTech camera, or the new Ion that iTech Digital is providing, they all work today. The Ion is brand new, so we're still kind of in beta with that. And that's not something that we directly support yet, but we're working on getting that there. And the iTech Inc., the iGaze Edge, as it's called, that's something that we're talking with them, but we don't support today. So right now it's Toby, iTech, and iRespond.
Okay.
Right, are the three cameras, and those are on a bunch of different devices. You've probably also seen the announcement that Smartbox is coming out with a new camera that also has better sunlight tolerance. That's a big initiative that they're coming out with this fall. So we're in active talks with them to make sure that we can support that technology as well when it releases.
I don't see any other questions, but yeah, I don't see any other questions. So I don't know if you guys had anything else you wanted to add, you wanted to touch on.
Well, I know it's a bit of a short video. We're actually very proud of the fact that most people can start driving their wheelchair about 60 seconds after we get the technology installed on it.
And
so, from an engineering perspective, we strive to make something so simple that there's it's very easy to use. So yeah. Hopefully we are able to achieve that.
So yes, yeah. That's been one of our goals, that it's just easy.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for the presentation. And we will, if anyone has any questions later on, we'll forward them to you. And we'll make sure that those get answered too. But thank you guys so much for your time. And we'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. For some computer access talk with Maggie Mahoney from Graphs AT. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for inviting us and hosting this. We really appreciate being able to get in touch with people and help them out.
Thank you. You make an amazing product.
Thank you. Take care.